Okay, so how do we really know something in science? How do we go from just seeing something happen to being absolutely certain about it? Turns out, it's not just about what we see, it's all about the logic underneath. Today, we're going to break down the very foundation of how scientific certainty is built.
So, let me ask you something straight up. If you see something happen, say 100 times in a row, the exact same way, can you be absolutely 100% certain it's going to happen again? I mean, it feels like a sure thing, doesn't it? But is that feeling the same as actual scientific proof?
To really dig into this, we're going to travel back in time, way back, to the 11th century, and look at a thought experiment from a philosopher named Al-Ghazali. He had this amazing, simple way of making a huge point about what it means to truly know something. And that brings us to what's famously known as the burning cotton puzzle. This little puzzle is going to be at the heart of everything we talk about today.
So here's the setup. It's super simple. You take a piece of cotton, you touch it to a flame, what happens? It burns, obvious. Now you do it again, and again, and again. You do this 100 times, and every single time, without fail, that cotton goes up in smoke.
You know, this whole process of watching specific things happen over and over and then making a big general rule out of it, well, that actually has a name. It's called inductive reasoning. You're basically taking a bunch of individual data points and trying to build one big conclusion.
And hey, after watching that cotton burn 100 times, the conclusion seems, well, obvious, right? All cotton burns. I mean, you saw it with your own eyes 100 times. What more proof do you need? But this is exactly where Al-Ghazali pulls the rug out from under us.
Because it turns out this way of thinking, this relying purely on what you observe, has a huge critical flaw.
So what about the 101st try? What if this time the piece of cotton you grab is, say, soaking wet? You bring it to the flame and nothing. It just sits there, all damp and unburned. And just like that, your certain conclusion, it's completely shattered by one single counterexample.
And this just perfectly shows the limits of induction, right? It can make you feel pretty confident. It can give you a high probability that something is true, but it can never give you 100% certainty, because all it takes is that one new piece of information, that one wet piece of cotton to completely tear down your rule. And that's exactly why in science, induction is awesome for coming up with ideas, for forming a hypothesis, but it's just not strong enough to create a rock-solid scientific law.
So, if just watching things isn't enough to be certain, what is? Well, this is where a much more powerful kind of logic steps into the picture. All right, so let me introduce you to deductive reasoning. Think of it as the complete opposite of induction. Instead of starting small and going big, you start with a big general rule, one that's already been proven true. Then you apply that bulletproof rule to a specific case. And the conclusion you get, it's guaranteed to be correct.
Okay, let's look at a real chemistry example to see how this works. We start with a proven general law. All organic compounds contain carbon. This isn't a guess, right? This is a foundational, established fact. Now let's take a specific case. Glucose is an organic compound. We know that too. So, what's the conclusion? It's absolutely inescapable. Glucose has to contain carbon. See? There's no maybe, no probably about it. It's just pure logical certainty.
So, now let's put these two ways of thinking head to head. The showdown, inductive versus deductive.
Okay, this table really lays it all out. Look at the direction, right? Induction goes from the specific to the general. I saw 100 pieces of cotton burn, so all cotton must burn. But deduction, it goes the other way, from the general to the specific. All organic things have carbon, so this specific thing, glucose, must have carbon. And the big one, certainty. Induction only ever gives you probability. Deduction gives you 100% certainty if your starting law is actually true. That's the key. And you can see how science uses them differently. Induction is for brainstorming, for coming up with new hypotheses. Deduction is for testing those ideas and applying the laws we've already figured out.
And this was Al-Ghazali's big message almost 1,000 years ago. He was saying that science gets really powerful, not just by observing things, but by building these proven, unbreakable laws and then using them to deduce new truths with total confidence.
And believe me, this isn't just some dusty old philosophical argument. This is literally the foundation of how all modern science actually gets done. This constant dance between inductive observation and deductive logic, that's the engine of scientific discovery. It's how it all works. We see patterns, we come up with a hypothesis, we test it like crazy until it becomes a law. And then we can use that law to make predictions about how the universe works. And you can see this in action throughout history. Think about early chemists like Jabir ibn Hayyan, often called the father of chemistry, and Al-Razi. These guys weren't just randomly mixing stuff together, they were using systematic logic. They created rigorous experimental methods for things like distillation and classification. And this whole approach, it let them move past just, I saw this happen, and establish real foundational laws, like the law of definite proportions. That's the law that says a chemical compound always has the same elements in the exact same ratio by mass.
And that right there is the whole point. A scientific law isn't just some piece of trivia. It's a proven general rule that lets you do something amazing. Make certain predictions using deductive reasoning. It means we can say with absolute 100% certainty that any pure sample of water, whether it's from your tap or from a comet flying past Mars, is going to have that same 1:8 mass ratio of hydrogen to oxygen. That's real power. That's deductive logic at work.
So, I'll just leave you with this to chew on. What are some everyday beliefs you hold, just from simple observation?
Things you believe are true just because you've seen them happen over and over again. And more importantly, how many of those beliefs, like that burning piece of cotton, might not be quite as 100% true as you think?